Conservative Party conference has started here in Manchester, and the moment that politicians and delegates started to arrive, this happened. Organisers estimate that 30,000 people are turning out for this march through the streets of Manchester to protest what the coalition government's doing in the way of cuts. And you've literally got all sorts of people here. You've got the older generation saying hands off our pensions. You've got the sort of middle-aged generation who fear that their jobs will be cut as money to public services is slashed. You've got the very, very young who are worried that things like nurseries and provisions for education will be cut. And of course, Manchester has a massive student population, so you've got a lot of students turned out, much like in other marches that we've seen across the country, turned out to protest against the rising cost of education. I spoke to some of the people who are here to ask them just why they thought it was important to turn out today, and here's what they told me.
I think it's important that we send a message to the government, and Cameron and Osborne in particular, that the people aren't willing to put up with these cuts and cuts to public services and pensions.
It's important to let the government know that the majority of people are opposed to what they're doing, opposed to the economic course they're taking, and are prepared to do something about it to try and, not to get the change course, that won't happen, but to try and build a movement that will bring this government down and bring in a government that does look after working people.
Now, a lot of the banners that you can see here around me are calling for a strike on the 30th of November. They're calling for a general strike for public sector workers to down tools, leave work, show the government just exactly what it would be like if public sector workers didn't in fact show up for work in the morning. So that's what they're planning to do. A lot of the biggest unions in the country, Unison, the PCS, they have all turned out here today to say we will down tools on the 30th of November unless you promise that you won't make these steep cuts in public sector funding that you're proposing. A lot of them are also calling for Prime Minister David Cameron's resignation.